You know, it's interesting to me when I read the scriptures, I think about what the Lord is doing and how he's making it happen and how things are taking place in the world. And Jesus said in John 14 a lot of things, but one thing in particular I want to draw your attention to. Jesus said, "Greater works will you do than I have done when I go to my Father." When you think about that verse, it's very important to sort of understand what it means. When you think of greater works than Jesus did, what did Jesus do? Well, Jesus cast out devils. Jesus healed people. Jesus raised the dead. Jesus fed the multitudes. Jesus performed miracles. Jesus defended the Father's house. Jesus did a lot of stuff. How can we do those things? What did Jesus mean when he said that? When Jesus said greater works, listen to that statement, greater works will you do than I have done when I go to my Father. Now we know, of course, that when Jesus went to the Father, he sent to us the Holy Spirit, that the Holy Spirit would be inside of us, and not only one man in the area of Palestine, which Jesus was. He stayed in that region from Capernaum through Samaria down to Jerusalem. He did not leave his birthplace more than 100 miles. He lived 33 and about a half years. And as a result of that, he changed the world. But now we have Christians all over the world. Millions of people are following Jesus Christ. Now listen to this. The people that are following Jesus Christ are expected to fulfill that chapter in John 14 about doing greater works. How can we do that? Well, there's more of us. There's more of us. You see, the challenging point about that verse is that each one of us have a responsibility to do our part. Jesus wasn't limited, but he limited himself. He stayed in this area of Palestine. He didn't go anywhere else. He stayed in the area. But we are everywhere. People all over the planet. There will be people that listen to this in Korea. People will listen to this in Pakistan. People will listen to this all over the world. This very message that you're listening to right now. I get calls and I get texts from people all over the world that will be listening to this. In America, people will be listening to this. In different states, different continents, people will be listening to this very message. If we do what Jesus did, that's how we fulfill that chapter. That's how we fulfill that verse. Greater works than what Jesus was able to accomplish in his 33 years, we can accomplish because there's so many more of us doing it. Now, the question on the floor is, are you holding up your corner of what God gave you responsibility to do? Here's the thing. God gave everybody the same responsibility. Now listen to me. We all have different gifts, yes. We all have different abilities, yes. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about works. The works that we do. The things that we accomplish. Everything that God has given you to do, he has already made the way for you to do it. The question is, will you do it? You have the resources. You have the ability. You have the power. You have the relationship. But do you have the willingness to do what Jesus did? Jesus reminded us again, I am one man in one location. When I die and go to the Father, I'll send the Spirit back, and the Spirit will be all over the world through people that believe. And those people that believe, you and me, we're supposed to make a difference in our world, where we are, what we're around, what's going on with us. We must be in that position. We must take the initiative to do what God called us to do. No one gets a pass in this area. No one can say they belong to Christ and not do what Christ said. That's not part of the deal. We're to follow Jesus Christ. We're to do what Jesus did. We're to give the example that Jesus gave. We're to walk the walk that Jesus walked and talk the talk that Jesus talked. It's our responsibility to do the next thing right. That's our responsibility. Let me challenge you. Let me encourage you. Let me remind you that Jesus Christ has invested in you. He has put confidence in you. Where you are, what you're around, where you work, where you have retired, what you do, Christ has already provided a mission field for you. Jesus said greater works. What does that mean? Well, simply the same thing. Greater works. How can that be possible? Once again, there's more of us. If you're doing the works of Christ where you are, and I'm doing the works of Christ where I am, and other people are doing the works of Christ where they are, and others are still doing the works of Christ where they are, we're doing greater works, reaching out further, making a greater impact, touching more lives. We are reaching deeper and higher and longer ways in the world to show that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. These things are very important, and the value of that is critical. When Jesus says that there's something that we need to do, and he equips us to do it, listen to me, he fully expects us to do it. Let me encourage you to do greater works. Greater than what Jesus did? No, that's not what he says. He's doing greater works because there's more of us doing the same work. The same work Jesus did, we're supposed to do. We're not doing greater works than Jesus did. You couldn't do that anyway. But we can do greater works by the number, by the volume. So you have to hold up your corner. I have to hold up my corner. We have to hold up our corner together. We're working together for the common cause to do exactly what Jesus did. And if you do that, God will bless you for it. God bless you. We love you, and goodbye.